Welcome to Criminal Guitars and welcome to another weekend workshop. This is where I take a look at a new tool, a new guitar bridge or piece of hardware or machine. And today I have a little bit of viewer's mail. This is from a young new company in Canada starting to make custom pickups, and they wanted to see what we thought of their new humbuckers. So it's a company called This is one of those things. I always swore that unboxing videos were just the lowest form of entertainment. That and watching other people play computer games. And now I spend a lot of time watching unboxing videos and a lot of time watching people play computer games. It's crazy. All right, so we have a little handwritten letter. I cannot believe that anybody's written a handwritten letter. It's great, and it's legible, which cannot be said about me. Here's the maker. Okay, he says, thanks for reviewing the pickups. They're designed with a heavier sound in mind, but I also made them to be versatile enough for any situation. They would basically make these to be the perfect pickups, and a holy grail. All right, it's a small one-person company in London, Ontario, Canada. That's confusing. Slowly working towards a full line of pickups for any guitar, and a custom winding shop as well, with in-house luthiers eventually. That's pretty awesome. That's excellent. A handwritten note, which is very, very cool. Let's open these up. I remember opening up a set of bare knuckle pickups from Tim when it was just him. Him and Andy, who used to be Wizard pickups actually. Anyway, so let's have a look. This says neck pickup on the bottom, and here we have it. So it is a pickup. It's got a chunkier tape than I'm actually used to. Real cloth tape, comes with the screws, and obviously 4-core. So I'm supposed to be actually reviewing this, and I'm slightly biased. It must be said they've just sent these to me for free, obviously, and so, well, basically we are not biased. We're never biased. We'll always tell the truth, no matter what it happens to be. Although if it's particularly devastating, I wouldn't want to publish the video, really, because I don't like being mean. Okay, now, first of all, I'm interested to see what... We've got 12 adjustable pole pieces instead of 6, and then 6 magnets. That's quite interesting. We'll see what happens. This looks like... it looks like it's been made by a young company. It's a bit rough and ready. You've got this big... this tape around here is very big, and it goes up quite high, and it's around the bobbin rather than around just the winds. It could be a little bit tidier, and it's the same with the other one over here. Let's have a look. It's got just some cosmetic issues, really. There's a few little scratches, and I think back to my first guitars, and frankly, well, I burnt several of them because they just weren't good enough. But it's the same thing I say with the guitar building. The last 5% of what you work on is the very first thing that the client sees. Now, you see that this was just a little piece of electrical tape loosely wrapped around these paired off wires. And it's just come off. It didn't look very attractive, and it just came off, so it didn't really do its job. So that's a bit of an issue. I've got no problem with there's no engraving and he's handwritten the B on there and all that. That will come with time. But this here is just a little bit where the wires go in. You're supposed to have the strengthening bit of, well, it's not shielding, but yeah, the outer sheath, there we go, sheath. The outer sheath of the wire is supposed to be through the hole and supporting everything, and it's not, it's all just hanging a bit loose. And I would worry, if somebody didn't know about pickups and guitars and stuff, I'd worry that would not, it wouldn't be strong enough. So, from that point of view, I think they just need to do a little bit more on the quality control. Now, in here, you can actually see where he's poked through and re-threaded, I think, which is quite interesting. But, well, in the end, there's some improvement, but looking at them isn't the same as playing them. It's more important to see what they sound like. And we're going to have to put these in a guitar.
Okay, I've pulled in the big guns. We are not going to be mentioning from this point forward the name of the company, and the editing is going to take that out. This is Luigi.
Hello.
You're a guitar builder, you're a three-quarter physicist, all-round intelligent person, despite the look, the whole hippie thing you got going on.
I don't know.
Hippie? No, not hippie. Grungy.
Just don't care about it.
I like it. And Luigi is also our resident pickup maker. We're going into pickups in a big way ourselves. Now, I must say, we are still going to be doing pickup reviews from other companies because it's not about selling our own pickups. It's about learning as much about how other people are doing it, experiencing as many pickups as possible, and of course sharing it with you guys. I'd like you to buy our pickups, but if you prefer a bare knuckle or a House of Tone, etc., it's horses for courses. In the end, as long as you buy one of my guitars, I don't care. Anyway, listen, these things
are wrong.
Are wrong in very, very, very many ways, and we are sorry. I've actually left this, 3 or 4 months now?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure whether we should even carry on filming. We're going to bleep out the name of the company. We have spoken to them, told them what's wrong, and how they can fix it. And they are well up for doing that. But we thought that it would be interesting to sanitize the information, but still show you what is wrong.
Yeah, it's up for everyone else.
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, they arrived, and you've just seen me saying that the soldering was a little bit iffy there. Yeah. One of them actually didn't work. We got 2 of them to a guitar. The one pickup worked okay. One pickup was just dead entirely, and we have got some footage of we lent the guitar that these pickups were in to Toby to take to a gig, and one of the pickups in that gig was this, and it actually sounded okay.
Okay.
The gig through his massive sound system and whatever
pickup was
digital,
a minimal part of the entire thing.
My biggest problem with that gig, 0 amps. How can you have a guitarist, a guitar-based show, and they're all just going through the PA through this digital trickery? It's
Welcome
so
to
sad.
the modern age.
No, it's sad. It's wrong.
Yeah, I know, it's wrong.
Shout at me if you like, but
you don't have to carry anything. Get
a roadie.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Pay me a roadie.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, look. So one of these worked. You've seen the quality. You've just got electrical tape around. This wiring is loose.
Okay, let's start.
Scary.
Let's start from the beginning. First of all, the wire like this, it's not a good idea because you have. It's not a good idea because you have, basically, you can pull this, and you will pull this when you're wiring stuff.
Absolutely.
And therefore, you might end up destroying these solderings, which aren't quite good.
So to start with, the actual solder joints really sucked.
Also, they are not covered. this means that if these wire move, they might touch together and shorten the entire pickup.
So when they arrived, you had your coil splits were shielded by wrapping a single strip of electrical tape around it.
Okay, I see.
You have to use heat shrink, and
Yeah.
that just fell off.
Yeah.
He didn't even use heat shrink inside, so that could
No.
short out
And also,
the coils.
exactly. And also what I can see is that this particular pickup here doesn't have the framework grounded, because this is the ground and you have a bare wire in here and it's not grounded.
So the frame's not grounded at all, and therefore
Therefore it's not shielded. Basically, the frame acts as a shielding.
Yeah.
Just like the
Faraday cage inside of the cavity.
Yeah, exactly. If you put the top on, otherwise it's kind of useless.
Okay. We need to explain quickly your pink fingers. Show the close up.
Yeah.
Luigi put his hand through the planar thicknesser, and he's not proud of that.
No, but they're healing.
It is also a fashion statement.
Yeah. Then,
Yeah, use that to point.
yes. Then, as we said, tape, electrical
tape.
Electrical
Yeah.
tape. It's kind of usable for this kind of things. The problem
It's not
is
particularly pretty.
it's not pretty, but the main problem is that it's elastic a tiny bit. Therefore, when you try to tape a coil with something that might stretch, means that you can actually carry with you the coils itself or the bobbin,
Oh, crikey, okay.
and therefore loosen them, change the shape, or even break them.
Yeah.
And also, it's not very resistant to the heat if you're gonna pot the pickups. It
Yeah.
just melts because of the heat of the
absolutely.
potting.
Yeah.
Therefore, you should use something like
Are these
something like
potted, do you think?
yeah,
Yeah, I can feel the
they're
wax
potted.
actually, yeah.
In fact, you see that it's.
Yeah, you can see it, yeah.
But the main thing that is wrong with this, it's
The magnet.
the magnet.
Point it at the...
Can you see it? So, thing is, using screws on both sides instead of screw and slugs, it's a design choice. It's not a problem. There's a lot of pickers that are made like that,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
it's not a problem. But you have to be sure that these screws actually touch the magnet. Because in here, you have the screw fixed to the framework, but they are not actually touching the magnet. And what this means is that you are relying on the magnetic property of the framework to basically polarize the screws. And the problem is that magnetic field works with the square, is inversely proportional to the square of the radius of the magnetic field itself.
See? Told you.
This means that if you are twice as far from the magnet, you are four times weaker.
Yeah.
And this is actually works even when you touch things with the magnet. And yeah, these screws must touch the magnet.
Let me just say that again. So if you are twice as far away from the pickup, you're four times as weak.
Yes.
Okay. Inversely proportional to the radius of the magnetic field.
Yes.
Booyah! I sound intelligent. Okay. He's explained this to me several times over the last 6 months or so. This is why you can have a relatively strong magnet holding a back plate.
Yes.
And you know, if it's 4 or 5 centimeters away from your strings, it's not going to touch the. It's not going to affect anything
At all. Yeah.
because of this inverse stuff. Anyway, carry on. So the magnet is supposed to be
touching both of these.
of
So you got the polarity of the magnet of the bar magnet is not north-south or south-north, depending on what you choose. Therefore, you have the screws touching it, and then they have polarized south-north. Other thing to think about is that if you use something like this, and you use something which is neutrally, magnetically neutral.
Yes.
Basically, these aren't polarized because this
Polarized, yeah.
this will not be polarized. and you can actually use something which is magnetically neutral because it doesn't make.
So essentially, do we have now a single coil? Or is it just it's just not going to work? Is it going to be? It's definitely going to be much weaker.
If in here we got a bobbin that is touching and a bobbin that is not. Problem is that you are not. First of all, the shape of the magnetic field is strange because it goes up and then goes down really quickly because it will close itself anyway, but it will not close it properly.
Yeah.
It also will go from here to here, something like that.
Yeah.
Leaving out this bit, it will not go that way. And also, yeah, I mean, you might have kind of a single coil. This bobbin is actually, this will be magnetized anyway, but it's just weaker.
Okay. On a normal pickup, on a normal humbucker, you've got the screws and you've got the slugs.
Mm-hmm.
Does the magnet touch the slugs as well?
Yes, absolutely. You have on the
okay, I see. What's happened then is he's got screws, and the threaded section of the screw is smaller than the slug would be because the slug is the same size as the head of the screw.
Yeah.
So that would go through because these are standard size magnets, aren't they?
Yeah, standardized.
So essentially, if you're doing a double screw, you have to have a bigger magnet?
No. Actually, how it works is just that you got the magnet, and then you have a small bar with 10 holes in it where the screw goes, and they are actually touching the magnet through the bar.
Therefore, the bar is magnetized. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. So essentially, he's missed out on that bar.
Yeah, exactly. You will have to have 2 bars in here which are touching it.
And I've seen that, and I know that now. This is the other one. I've just ripped the tape off the edge, and those individual things are actually shielded.
Shielded.
Taped.
Okay.
Heat shrink would definitely be better.
Yeah, it would be
I think
neater.
what might have happened is that was when James was trying to repair that. So I'm not sure if he didn't.
Okay, let's assume that this is how it.
This is how it arrived. Yeah. So it's not as bad, and it looks like he had shielded the cord there. Mm-hmm. Essentially, we've had this apart and tried to fix it. This still is shoddy, and the soldering is bad. So, I mean, we're not in this to destroy anybody's company or to. This is a tutorial.
Yeah,
we're about teaching people and about learning ourselves. Hell, I'm learning stuff about inverse square laws of magnetic blah blah. It's all about learning. The pickups are not as cleanly put together as we've seen from other people.
Yeah. There are some mistakes.
There are some mistakes, and it's a basic mistake of not having the right ingredient.
Not having the right ingredient, and I think a little bit of ignorance of how things work, really.
Yeah. But then you get.
I mean, it's something that you might try to do, see how it works, and try to improve it. Yeah. This is can be a common mistake, really.
Yeah. Well, look, if you look at my first 10 guitars, none of them were worth anything. I was learning, and at that stage, I didn't have the internet. I didn't have access to all of the information that we have these days. I think there's less of an excuse now, but still, it is a dark art.
Yes.
If I was making a pickup, from scratch without access, I would probably end up with something like this, because I wouldn't know about that bar that was missing. Although I'd probably just stick with, screws and slugs to start with. So look, at the base work is okay. It needs to be tidied up.
Yes.
And he just needs to do a little bit more research and practice a bit. And in the end, my first leveling file was rubbish. Yeah. We now make 100 or so a month, and 95% of them are perfect. The other 5% get binned because files come to us slightly twisted and aren't good enough. It's about experience. It's about knowledge.
Trial.
and trial and error. When you started building pickups, you made...
Well, the first one that I thought it was good enough to put it into a guitar was the 8
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and 8 were the ones that I actually finished to build.
Yeah, and you stopped halfway through and started again and
start
again.
again
Yeah.
at least other 10 times. So,
Okay, look, the end result is this chap, this gentleman, needs to go back and practice more and read a bit more. Even the suppliers' websites can help you.
yeah,
Because these are the instructions. You know, this is what you need for this. It's in their interest to sell you that doohickey that you missed out. It's an incredibly interesting thing. You're going to hear the guitar being played. I think it's going to play you out now. It sounded okay. The one pickup that did work sounded perfectly fine, and the wire was right. The magnets and all that. It's not about the sound. It's about the quality of the build. You can have a guitar made out of a 2,000-pound piece of formerly submerged flamed koa, harvested from the, by a crying virgin, or I don't know. Why do I have to go there? If it's not well made, if you don't do your research and learn how to sharpen your tools, if you don't buy the right router cutter on our CNCs, I've just bought a 300-pound router cutter.
worth it.
It's so worth it.
You can actually talk while the CNC is
Yeah,
working.
I mean, it makes
At
a
this level.
gigantic difference to the quality of what we're doing. I'm self-censoring as I go. Rubbish in, rubbish out. Quality parts in, quality parts out. You can, to a certain extent, polish a turd. But if you spend a little bit more money and a little bit more time and effort on the base components and on your base knowledge, the end result
will be absolutely...
Our pickups that we're making are indistinguishable in quality from bare knuckle
best.
and everybody,
Absolutely.
House of Tone, etc. Because we're using the same parts they are. We're using we don't have the same experience yet, but we're using the same.
We're using basically the quality of the components is the same.
Yeah.
What changes it's
the idea
it's
of the
what
theories
changes.
behind
Yeah,
the
it's what
magnets.
changes in every company.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has its own theory. I have mine. We have ours.
Yeah.
And therefore we build pickups in a certain way.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's...
And the thing with pickups is that anybody can make them. You can rig up a sewing machine motor and make it yourself, and we're going to be doing tutorials on how to do it. We're making pickups not necessarily to sell them, but to put them in our guitars because we have a certain sound we're after.
Yes.
We are still going to use House of Tone. We are still going to use Monty's guitars. Oh, my guitar sounds so good. I love those pickups. And I hope that at the end, we're going to get more pickups from these guys, and they're going to be fine. And you'll see a review at some point with them having taken this on board and gone and done the research and done again. Anyway, that 5-minute video turned into 15 or 20 every single time. Sorry to the editors. Thank you very much for watching. Click like, subscribe, comment below. Here you go. Share your secret components if you make pickups. Tell me what you do. This is the day and age of free information, of open source design, and we share everything we do so that you guys can go out and build better guitars, better pickups. I'm not going to show you how we make our leveling files. But other than that, free information. And yeah, it's in the end, we are all going to be the better for it. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Luigi.
Thank you.
See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you, camera person. Cheerio.
Good night, God bless you all, thank you.